Hello again. My name is Jennifer. I'm your host. Today we're doing a little something different. Want to show you the outside of the neighborhood that you guys will be staying in when you come on your visit. Before my previous videos, I showed you the inside of the apartment. Now I'm just showing you the area and everything this area has to offer. This behind me is the park. It's called Gershwin Park, and people come here with their kids. They come to run on the track, get in shape. And it's right here on Linden Boulevard, which is a big avenue. You can hear probably all the traffic in the background. So I'm gonna just let you guys take a tour, and hopefully you like it. Okay, now I'm gonna introduce my brother Wendell, and he's gonna touch a little more about the park and the history of the neighborhood.
Hi, my name is Wendell. I always want to let a few people understand about the neighborhood, and especially just this aspect of it. Now, for a long time, actually, for maybe almost 20 years or so or more, this park was actually a bit dilapidated. It had, you would run around the tracks and they would have cracks and a lot of, problems with and flaws with the park itself as a whole. But as time went on, local politician of ours helped to supposedly reconstruct this park, where at a time when you would come late at night and lights were not available, to be able to run the track, when at dusk maybe. Now you can have lights on all through the night, where you don't have to feel a little uncomfortable. That is extremely helpful. We feel that for those who are trying to keep in shape, especially and healthy, at a time, especially when it's in the summer and it is getting dark much later. Especially one other thing that to add, which is one of the new things, we have here, for example, right to the side here, a bike rack, which we have another one further down. But we just wanted to show you that because that's extremely new, maybe roughly a year ago. And this is something that's great for part of staying in shape. We'd never be able to ride down here. We would have to walk down here, and now you can actually ride a bike and put it aside safely. And this is a part of the reconstruction, so to speak, that you will see as we go through the tour of the neighborhood. Thank you.
All right, this is a little continuation, just showing you guys the security that they have, NYPD cameras here at the corner of Vermont and Stanley, which is still in the park area. And little correction, this is actually called Linden Park. Since it's on Linden Boulevard, I guess that makes sense. But growing up, when we were kids, we used to always call it Gershwin, because Gershwin school is right across the street from the park. So this is the playground area. Not much kids in it now because it's really early in the morning. And that's the block. It's a very long block. A lot of trees, beautiful trees. Alright, we just show you the park. Now we're continuing our little tour to Pennsylvania Avenue, which is one of the main strips here. And this is where you find your Models, your Young World, other little shopping stores, and the restaurants like McDonald's and Popeyes and White Castle, whatever you crave. So this is, like I said, the main strip here, one of the main strips, and my brother's going to touch more about that for you guys.
Well, I know we mentioned on one of the sites that I'm on, for example, called House Trip, we mentioned about Russians being within the neighborhood. You will find when you come further down this neck of the woods, you have Starrett City, which is basically about a block or so, right over Linden. I mean, actually, this is further, and I forget now. That's Flatlands Avenue, and Linden is further back the other way. So what we have, if you look at, there's back here in this mall, and also what's just newly was erected is another pharmacy, two pharmacies that are Russian owned. So when it comes to, for those who may not speak the English language too well, again, we're sorry that we don't cover all nationalities in this neighborhood, but when it comes to those who are Russian speaking, if you need to fill that prescription, just as much as the Rite Aid over here, this is only roughly about 20 minutes the most, depending on how quick you walk. And it has the basic needs. You have internet cafe just started in that section of the mall.
Okay, well, we just left Pennsylvania Avenue. Now we're on Flatlands Avenue, where the mall continues. Just a little outdoor mall where you find your Pathmark. You got the Subway, Dunkin' Donuts, Baskin Robbins, and of course your IHOP. Okay, now we've moved up the block a little bit, still on Louisiana Avenue. Okay, now we're more into Starrett City, up the block from where the outdoor mall is. And we just wanted to, you guys to take a look at the Fresh Creek Nature Preserve. And this is one of the little areas you could come to, take a little walk, little nature walk. It is very big. You can't tell from here standing on the outside, but it stretches from here all the way down to the Belt Parkway. We're going to walk inside a little bit just to give you a little taste. And we're not going to go through all of it because it is very, very long. But I'm going to pass it off to my brother Wendell, and he will touch on it a little more.
So this park or reservation, it is one of the very few, very rare portions of the environment that because people have to understand that Starrett City and further down when we go later to the other mall, Gateway Mall, that all of this was a landfill. In the late 1800s, even into all through the 1900s, the development that went on here was very late. Even East New York itself was just like a lot of farmland. It was all wildlife. And this is one section of the wildlife, I should say, that they preserve. When you go down, when you will notice when we walk through, there are certain sections where excuse me, where you can read a little bit about the type of wildlife that's there, and it gives you a feeling of that separation from the constant, you know, concrete and that asphalt that you're used to every day. So we'll talk about that a little bit shortly after we walk through.
All right, this is a little walkthrough of the nature preserve. And this is okay, now we are continuing our little journey through the neighborhood, and just wanted to stop by the Belt Parkway real quick to show you guys the highway. This is the expressway that takes you either further into Brooklyn, going down to Sheepshead Bay, going down to Coney Island, where the beaches are, and then eventually hitting downtown Brooklyn. And then when you pan this way, the Belt Parkway takes you into Queens, and it takes you into Howard Beach. And in Howard Beach, you have your Starbucks, you have your Gold's Gym if you like to work out, and you have your Cold Stone ice cream place, and there are a whole lot of Italian restaurants and pastry shops that you could check out over there in Howard Beach. So I just want to, you know, if you're driving and you want to jump on the Belt and either go to the mall, King's Plaza Mall, or if you want to go down to Howard Beach, this is the expressway that will take you guys there. All right, let's continue on our journey.
So, Gateway Center or mall. This particular mall is the largest mall so far within our vicinity. This, as it was constructed, this was once part of the landfill, just as much as back here, which, courtesy of our Mayor Bloomberg, helped to so-called construct this section here, but also before him, his predecessor and others helped to produce this mall. This mall here used to be just a regular, back in the 80s and into the 90s, this was just a section where people can drive through here, sort of a no man's land, and there was drag racing going on, illegal drag racing going on back here late at night. But now this is a center where it is occupied by people from not just this our neighborhood, but all around, because back here the Belt Parkway, which has as my sister mentioned, it connects to Queens, different parts of Brooklyn, even Long Island. It connects to, if you want to. You're coming from the JFK. This is one of the routes you're going to take. This helps everyone from all over to get to this mall, which it has a lot of the major chain stores, Target, your Best Buy, Home Depot, and others. Even restaurants like Olive Garden, which takes a while, by the way, to get, when you get a reservation or anything. It takes a while. It's usually packed. Red Lobster and such. Also, we have here a little preservation, wildlife preservation here, and it has bike lanes, walk lanes, park further down where you could play a little sports. Also, it gives you some information about the wildlife and vegetation in the section. Some of it is man-made, some of it is natural in itself. Also, may I add, especially when you're coming out here, the B-15, I'm sorry, not the B-15, but the 83. It's the B-83 bus that's further down here, closer to the end of the mall, is where you're going to get on or off to get to the mall. And that bus is one of the best buses to take, and it's two buses actually. But we have to get the one that's going towards our neck of the woods, and not the other that's going to be going off, veering off. Thank you.